So it looks like Q goes first. He says, I have a service page on my GSite, which has the corresponding page linked to and embedded on the money site. Okay, I have built several layers of Web 2 links at it and the entire GSite to diversify anchors, which has helped, but stuck on page 2 for months. I am thinking of sending some PBN links at the inner GSite page, but not sure which anchors would be best. Would you go with a URL or the primary keyword as the anchor? The page already has tons of generic anchors from all the tiered link building. Yeah, that's a great question, Hugo. I teach in the mastermind a very specific tier 2 link building strategy that works very, very well. And I'll talk about it on a high level, conceptually here, so that you can get an idea. But if you have your money site connected to Search Console, what I recommend is for the particular page that you're having trouble ranking, right, is to go into Search Console, go to the performance report and click on pages, the tab underneath the graph. There's different tabs there, queries, pages, devices, I think is another one. Anyways, click on pages, then click on the URL for the page that you want to push from page 2 on to page 1. And once you click on that URL under pages, it's going to only show you the data that one page has, like for all the data for that one specific page. So then once you click that URL, then you click the queries tab. And now all of those queries are the queries that the page has been given an impression for in Google search. Okay, those search phrases there, Google had determined that page was relevant in some way, shape, or form. Doesn't matter where it's ranking, right? I've seen if you check the box in Search Console to show the average position, so the average ranking position, you'll see that sometimes the page will be given an impression for a search query that maybe it was in position 218. That's how high I've seen it go. Like seriously, I've seen it. If you check the average positions box, I've seen it track all the way up to into the 200. So like page 22 or page 23 in the search results. So what I'm saying is those queries were Google thought that page was relevant to that query at some level, even if it wasn't optimized for it, which is the reason why it might be ranked the ranking may be really poor for that keyword or that search phrase. But my point is, if you sort by impressions, now you'll start seeing which search phrases are getting the most search volume. And then what I do is export that keyword search query report from Search Console as a Google Sheet typically, but you can export it as a CSV or an Excel file, that sort of thing. And then what I do is once I export it as a G Sheet, a Google Sheet, then I go through and I sort by impressions, and then I go in and I just manually go through line by line or row by row and eliminate any search queries that weren't really relevant for my business. Google might have thought they were for whatever reason, but if they're not truly relevant, then I go ahead and eliminate those from the list. But when you're done with that, and I usually set a threshold, by the way, like I might look at the last 6 months of data for Search Console. I usually don't go beyond that because I want keywords that are relevant recently, or search queries that are relevant recently. So I might go 6 months back. And then what I'll do is I'll set the impression count, like I'll set a threshold depending on what industry you're in. For me, it might be, if the search query got less than 100 impressions over the last 6 months, then I don't even add those to the anchor text list that I'm going to be using as anchors for link building, right? But what I'm getting at is with the tier 2, with the search query report, once you've extracted it or exported it, then you've cleaned out all the non-relevant terms and you've set whatever threshold it is, and you just look at your own data and determine what threshold you want, right? Like for me, it might be 100 if it's 100 less than 100 impressions in 6 months, then I won't use it. It depends on the project. Sometimes it's a project with higher thresholds. But whatever, once I'm done, now I've got a very clean list of very relevant search queries that Google users have actually typed in the Google search bar, right? So those are, in my opinion, the best keywords to use as tier 2 links or anchor text for links, because they're 100% relevant and it's what people are actually searching for. See, that's the difference between the Google Keyword Planner, the Google Ads Keyword Planner, and Search Console data. The metrics are so far off because Google Keyword Planner the Google Ads Keyword Planner is a Google Ads keyword tool, right? So it's completely different. You will see search queries in Search Console that have high impressions but have zero search volume in the Google Ads keyword planner. Does that make sense? So it goes to show you that they're two different animals entirely. And so I only use the Google Ads keyword planner as a way to get like the kind of search queries that people are bidding on, competitors are bidding on for Google Ads, and it gives me an indication of the popularity of, and search volume of those keywords. But it is not organic search keywords that are shown in the Google Ads keyword planner. So whenever I'm looking for tier 2 link building anchor text, I like to go straight to the horse's mouth, so to speak, right? Go straight to the source, go to Google Search Console, extract the search queries for the particular URL that I'm trying to push, eliminate any non-relevant terms. Then I set some particular threshold. So if it's a low impression count, I'm not going to add that to the list because it doesn't get enough search impressions for it to be valuable, in my opinion. And that threshold is going to vary depending on project. And then what I'm left with is a really, really, really good list of anchor text to use at tier 2, right? So tier 2 links building to your tier 1 assets. So that's what I would recommend. As far as using like PBN links and stuff, guys, I've been buying a lot of links from Legit recently. I've got Legit open here in 2 different tabs right here, actually, for PBN links. And I like to do that specifically, especially with these types of campaigns that I just mentioned for tier 2 link building, because I can get less volume of links because I typically don't have a really big keyword set. Once I do the process that I just mentioned, I usually have a very targeted set of anchor text, and I want to have higher powered links to push that kind of anchor text relevancy through to my tier 1 assets and ultimately to my money site, right? Does that make sense? So yes, I think what you're, talking about building links to the GSite pages, I totally agree. That's what you should be doing. And just, I'll give you a, let's see if I got that open. Yeah. So here's just very quickly, this is a similar process that I'm going to be talking about for the Black Friday thing. And that's about all I'm going to show you guys of that right there. But there, the GSite is one of the most powerful things that the GMB website, if it's a GMB project or if it's a local project, has a Google My Business associated with it. You can mirror your kind of structure from your silo, from your money site. Think about it this way. If you have the page that you're talking about on your money site that you're trying to push, if it's long form content, you could have jump links, like a table of contents to, each one of the H2 tags on that content. And now you could create a GMB post silo if the GMB is attached to the project that links to the jump links of each one of the H2 headings on that long form page, right? And now you could mirror that into the GSite. So you create sub pages from the mirrored location page on the GSite. So you create sub pages, right? So like inner pages or child pages of the primary page. And then you can embed the GMB post into there, right? And link back to the GMB post URL as well. So there's just a number of things that you can do with that. And all of those, now you got GMB post URLs as well as GSite URLs, right? That you could as your target link list, that now you've got all of your tier 2 anchor texts from Search Console. So those are the exact search queries that is relevant to the page that you're trying to push. So those are what I like to do. And I found it works really, really well. And so that's what I would do. And again, there's using spam links and bulk links, guys, there's definitely a place for that. But what I've found over the last 6 months, I've been doing a ton of testing on organic stuff, is that I get faster results using higher powered links, less quantity, more power, right? And I like, the spam links, I think, are like, once you've achieved the result that you desire from the process that I just described, then the spam links or the bulk links is kind of how you maintain that, right? Because you can power up these structures that I was just describing with spam links, and that'll keep it kind of ranked. But with spam links and bulk links, it takes a while for them to get crawled. A lot of them won't even index, but it takes a while to get them crawled. So it can take weeks to get a link building campaign when you're doing bulk tiered links for them to be crawled, like weeks and weeks for them to be crawled. So you don't see an immediate response from bulk links like you do from higher powered, less quantity, but higher powered PBN links, right? Which again, I don't recommend building PBN links directly to your money site, guys, but that's why you have tier 1 entity assets that you build, because you can, again, mirror all of your site structure and your content into your tier 1 entity assets. and then use those as link targets or link building targets using the method that I just mentioned with Search Console search queries extracted for that particular URL that you're trying to promote, right? And then you build higher powered links to your tier 1 assets to promote that money site URL. And then from there, like I said, once you get the desired result, you can always maintain that with bulk links over time, if that makes sense. So that's kind of just how I've restructured my own process, so that when I'm testing things, I can get to the results faster, right? I can determine if anything that I'm testing is working or not a lot faster if I'm using PBN links. And then once I've determined, oh yeah, this is working, this structure, this process, whatever, now I know that I can maintain it, or I can boost it with bulk links, but I just understanding that it's going to take longer to see the result from bulk links, if that makes sense. So anyways, again, that was kind of a conceptual, like high level overview of the process, but if you want full training on all of that, guys, that's what the mastermind is for, right? Come join the mastermind, and I go into great detail and show actual live examples of stuff and rank reports and everything else to show you how these structures work, right? It's a great question, though.